Welcome to your September 2021 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering all of the major transits using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. I strongly recommend that you watch your horoscope for your ascendant sign first and foremost, because it will be the most overall accurate for you. The sun sign horoscope will pertain more to your career and your life goals, whereas your moon sign horoscope will tell you more about your family life and your current living circumstances. If you have time to watch all three horoscopes, I recommend that you do so because it will give you a very well-rounded and blended picture of what you can expect for the month ahead. And now let's dive into the horoscopes. Hi Pisces Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your September 2021 horoscope. On the 3rd of September, Mars in Virgo in your 7th house will oppose Neptune in Pisces in your 1st house. Neptune is one of your ruling planets, which means that you will be feeling this transit quite strongly. Now, this could see you having a disagreement or arguing with your significant other, a business partner, your second-born child, or anyone that you're in a close one-on-one friendship or relationship with. Now, Mars is the ruler of your 2nd house, which represents your finances and your self-worth. So you may be arguing or disagreeing with this individual about how you are spending your money. On a different note, Mars rules over your 9th house, which represents education, travel, and your spiritual beliefs, your world beliefs, and your religious beliefs. So you may be disagreeing with this person about any of those areas. Maybe they're trying to tell you what you should do with your education. Maybe you are butting heads about your world beliefs. On a different level though, this transit can manifest as this person helping you in those areas. So maybe they're giving you strategies about how to invest your money or what you should be doing with some of your resources. Maybe they're telling you about which courses you should apply for a higher education program. Or they could be encouraging you to go on a world trip that you've wanted to do for ages. On a different note, your significant other could be very, very busy at this time. They may have a lot going on in their life, especially with regard to any kind of long-term project that they're working on, or they could be very busy with calls, clients, sales, and meetings. So around this time, which once again is the 3rd of September, you may need to offer them some extra unconditional love and support. Now, on the 5th of September, Mercury in Libra in your 8th house will trine Saturn in Aquarius in your 12th house. This is a very positive aspect when it comes to trying to work out some kind of underlying psychological issue. The 12th house rules over your subconscious, and the 8th house is also connected to getting to the root cause of issues and problems. The 12th house represents your sleep patterns, and it indicates how you rest and relax. Now, with Mercury trining Saturn here, you may finally get a handle on some kind of sleep issues that you've been experiencing. On a different note, the 8th house represents our emotional security, and Mercury rules over your 4th house of family, and it rules over your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So this transit can see your relationships with these individuals finally stabilizing. So if you've been experiencing issues with your parents or with your significant other, around this date, you could have very clarifying conversations where you finally see things from each other's perspective. Now on the 6th of September, Venus in Libra in your 8th house will trine Jupiter in Aquarius in your 12th house. The 8th house and the 12th house are both connected to your sex life in astrology. So if you've been experiencing any kind of intimacy blockages or issues when it comes to your sexual performance, this transit can have a very healing impact on you. So you may be able to remove blockages in this respect. And this can come through increased emotional stability and feelings of security in your intimate relationships. Now, for those of you who are single, this can see you starting some kind of new sexual relationship. Venus represents relationships as it is, and it rules over your 8th house and your 3rd house. So you may be starting a sexual relationship with a friend, with someone that you work with. It could be a client. It could be someone who you see in your day-to-day life and who is very familiar to you. On a different note, This person may be introduced to you by a friend, a sibling, or a relative. Now, on the 7th of September, there will be a new moon in Virgo in your 7th house, and it will be opposing your ruling planet Neptune. So this particular new moon can see you meeting someone whom you form a romantic relationship with. The 7th house rules over your one-on-one relationships and partnerships. So you may see a new romance blossoming here. And this individual could be someone who is introduced to you by a friend, a relative, or a sibling. Very similar to the previous transit. On a different note, you may actually meet this person at a large-scale event, such as a concert. The reason I say that is because this new moon in Virgo will actually be trining Pluto in Capricorn in your 11th house, and it will trine Uranus in Taurus in your 3rd house. The nature of Uranus is that it is unpredictable and it brings about change very suddenly. So you could meet this person by accident, or this relationship could take off very quickly. Now, for those of you who are already in a committed long-term relationship, this could see you taking this relationship to the next level. There may be a proposal of sorts involved here. Now, this could be a proposal to get engaged, or if you're already engaged, your partner may abruptly just turn around and say, hey, let's elope, let's forget doing the big wedding. So things could move very, very quickly for your relationships on all fronts. Now, in a non-romantic sense, this new moon in Virgo could see you meeting a potential business partner. Or you may just make a new friend, or there may be a new client who enters your life. And on a different level, your partner could be starting a new chapter in their life. This could be connected to their long-term goals and aspirations. They may be starting their own business, or they may have a new contract that they sign. They may start a new course or work on some kind of project with a team of people. Now, lastly, with this new moon in Virgo, for those of you who are parents, a new chapter could be starting in the life of your second-born child. And then on the 15th of September, Mars will enter the sign of Libra, which means it will be transiting your 8th house. Mars rules over your 2nd house of finances. So you could be putting a lot of energy and effort into increasing your financial income so that it can contribute to your mutual resources. The 8th house as a whole represents mutual resources with your partner or with another individual. It also rules over things like wills, inheritances, taxes, child support, and alimony. So you may be putting a lot of energy and effort into these areas. Now, the 8th house is connected to transforming your life in a very sudden way. So you may be able to transform your own feelings of self-worth, because Mars rules over your 2nd house, by engaging the services of a psychologist or someone who practices spirituality. So you may get an astrology reading or a tarot reading done. The 8th house represents things that happen very suddenly, and it's sometimes referred to as the house of reversals. So things can turn around really quickly from the 15th of September onwards, and things will only increase in terms of their pace in these sudden changes once Mercury stations retrograde in Libra at the end of the month. But I'm not going to jump ahead of myself because we've got a couple of transits in between. Now, on the 21st of September, there will be a full moon in Pisces in your 1st house. This will be such a healing full moon for you because it is occurring in your sign, and this full moon will be conjunct Neptune, which is one of your ruling planets. It will also be sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 11th house, which means that this full moon will see you transforming. Full moons are representative of a chapter ending in our lives or something coming full circle. Because it is sextiling Pluto in your 11th house, this indicates that you could be achieving some... Oh, as I said that, my candle went out. So that is definitely confirmation. So with this full moon in your 1st house, you could be completing some kind of long-term project. You could be achieving a life goal or some kind of milestone. Now, this could be connected to a weight loss goal that you've had, or perhaps you are receiving some kind of special award or recognition for something that you have put your own personal effort and creative energy towards. This full moon in your first house could see you healing something on a very deep personal level. And because of this sextile to Pluto in your 11th house of friendship, a friend may help you to have this realization, or you may have a very profound and healing conversation with them. Now, on the 23rd of September, Venus in Scorpio in your 9th house will be opposed by Uranus in Taurus in your 3rd house. This can see some kind of argument or crises occurring with a friend, a sibling, a relative, or a co-worker, and that is because Venus rules over your 3rd house, which represents these individuals. Now, once again, Uranus has a very unpredictable, chaotic energy to it. So this particular argument could lead to this relationship ending quite abruptly. It doesn't have to end though. It could just be that you have a very explosive argument with this person. Now, on a totally different level, you may just have an epiphany regarding your intimate relationship with your significant other. And that is because Venus rules your 8th house, which represents your sex life and any intimate relationship that you have. Now, you could have an epiphany which is related to your world views, your spiritual views, or even your religious views, as represented by the 9th house itself. Now, this epiphany that you have, or this sudden realization that you have, could leave you quite breathless. It may even be like some kind of energetic or psychic download that you have. With Uranus in your 3rd house, which represents your mentality and how you think, and on a more basic level, your simple decision-making processes, you may be inclined to have some kind of knee-jerk reaction to this sudden realization or epiphany that you have. I do implore you to hold station though, because anything that you do or any rash decision that you make will not be reversible. So if this decision is with respect to an intimate relationship or to your relationship with a friend, a sibling, a relative, or even a colleague, or even a contract that you're involved in, just wait 24 hours if it's possible to see how you feel the next day, because this transit does indicate that you may come to regret some kind of, well, like I said, knee-jerk reaction that you have in the moment. Now, on the 27th of September, Mercury will station retrograde in your 8th house. The 8th house is a very psychological house, and when we have a planet being retrograde here, especially when it's Mercury, it's about rethinking things and reevaluating things. You will have a unique opportunity to see things from a totally different point of view. Now, because the 8th house is so psychological and it's connected to deep-seated psychological issues, be these fears, addictions, or even some kind of trauma, you will have the opportunity to have a huge breakthrough when it comes to healing yourself on this deep spiritual and emotional level. Mercury rules over your 4th house of home, family, and your psychological foundations. So for many of you, you may have repressed memories that bubble up around this time. This Mercury retrograde period will be from the 27th of September through till around the 19th or the 20th of October. So this will be a pivotal 3-week period where you can heal something on a deep level, like I said. Now, having this psychological breakthrough can come through meditation, it can come through re-engaging, and I emphasize re-engaging the services of a psychologist or a therapist that you've been to before, or you may want to see the same astrologer again. And because Mercury is retrograde, it's about doing things again and having a different result this time. So you will get a better result from seeing a psychologist, or let's say a tarot reader that you've seen before, rather than engaging the services of a new person in these industries. Now, on a different level, you may hear back from some old clients. And if you offer any kind of services, whether that's maybe you're a tarot reader yourself or an astrologer yourself, you will see a lot of repeat business. If you are in the spiritual industry, the occult industry, or even if you work in handling other people's resources and finances, or if you're a surgeon or you work in emergency services, all of these industries will be very, very busy during that 3-week period of time. Now, on a different note, during this period of time, you may have changes to your child custody arrangement if you've got one going on. You may want to tweak or rework your will or your inheritance. If you have been anticipating receiving an inheritance and it's been delayed, this is a point in time where you may finally receive it. Now, the 8th house rules over your significant other's finances, and of course it represents your mutual resources. So there's likely to be a change in your partner's finances. They may have an additional stream of income. They may let go of one stream of income. In any case, if you are in a situation where you have combined resources with another person, whether that's your significant other, your business partner, or someone else, these will change. It's almost a guarantee with this Mercury retrograde occurring in your 8th house. Now, you may be wanting to renegotiate your contract with your business partner. And lastly, with the 8th house representing your sex life and with Mercury ruling over your 7th house of your one-on-one relationships, this is a make it or break it moment. You can have a major breakthrough in your sex life. And lastly, you may actually hear back from someone or reconnect with someone who you used to be intimate with. And so Pisces, that's all I have for you for September 2021. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy your month ahead and take care.